I said, whenever you start feeling undervalued, wherever you at, and like I said, whether it's job, relationships,
Mhm.
we done built our value up. Now we gotta go bring it to the table. And when they get pushed back on you, then you're like, oh, now I gotta make a decision. Like, do
Gotta
I
make
just
a
keep
decision.
going?
Yeah, this more than 94. This is more than 94. Yeah, this more than 94. More than 94. Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to More Than 94, where we're all about helping athletes transition into professional life beyond sports. I'm your host NeNe, and today's episode is brought to you by an incredible initiative that's making waves at HBCUs across the country, Project Courage. Project Courage, powered by Matrix Fitness, is empowering students and professionals at the 107 historically black colleges and universities to explore careers in the fitness and wellness industry. Their program's mission is to create opportunities for the underrepresented through authenticity, generosity, and engagement. That's courage. They are opening doors, elevating voices, and providing real world experience to students and graduates, making sure that the next generation of health and wellness professionals truly reflect the diversity of our world. As a former collegiate athlete, I know firsthand how important it is to find your passion after sports. Fitness has always been a part of my journey, and Project Courage is showing young people at HBCUs that there are so many opportunities out there, whether that's in training, sports science, wellness, entrepreneurship, or beyond. So, whether you're a student or a professional looking to connect with others in the industry, or even just curious about what's possible, Project Courage has your back. It's about more than just finding a job, it's about finding your calling and making an impact. So we'll be diving into today's episode shortly, but before we do, I just want to give a huge thanks to Project Courage for sponsoring this episode and supporting our mission here at More Than 94. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of More Than 94, where former athletes redefine success. I'm your host, NeNe, and today's guest, we have Walter Moody. Walter is a stand-up comedian from Oakland, Mississippi. He goes by
Yeah,
Moody, widely known for pretty
yeah.
much anything other than comedy. Moody began his professional career as a fitness trainer after graduating from Arkansas State in 2010. Since then, he's
Yeah.
dabbled in many areas ranging from real estate investment to project management, but he is currently living his dream of traveling the country and doing what he loves
Word.
most, making people laugh. Welcome to
Hey,
More Than 94.
yo, appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. Sure, I could have written that no better myself, you know?
Listen, also listen. I'm like, obviously, we know each other, but I'm like,
No, word.
good for you for going and becoming a stand up comedian. And that's not an
No,
easy task.
no, man, it's not. Like I said, it's one of those things I enjoyed getting on stage. Honestly, I didn't think I was going. It became a lot smoother than I thought it was because I
Yeah,
really didn't have like any public like speaking like experience prior to that, other than like just regular stuff that I might do. But like getting up there on stage is a whole different beast. You know what I mean? People just want you to
listen,
laugh, make them laugh, make me laugh. I mean,
right.
like, good grief,
That's all.
but it's
But like
fun though.
you could get booed. Like that's not easy. I mean,
Yeah,
unless
there.
you're funny, but like you just that you got to be really funny. I feel like we were just talking about this other day. Like I feel like comedians can be good in like a movie, but you funny
Hmm.
when you
Hmm.
can get up on that stage and make people laugh.
No, for real though, it's a whole different type of beast. Like I said, when the movies you get like scripts, you get you can take as many times you need. Once you get on stage, you only got one time to get it right, one time to be funny, and one time to hit it like just right. So you got to be one of those things. For me, I feel like I'm naturally funny. I've always felt like I like have a good flow of just making anything into a joke at any moment. You know what I mean? Even like I
Right,
said, we know each other in different factions, but also in the gym. It was any time I could make a joke about whatever was going on in there. So, but
for
being
sure.
able to correlate that on stage, man, it's definitely been something that's been fun. Just being able to have like to set up a joke, actually think about, okay, this is how I want to end it, then let me set this joke up this way. And then even like the first time I got on stage, I had somebody at the crowd talk to me. So I was like, oh man, somebody, I
Oh,
already
that
got
threw you
like,
off.
oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do. And then I know where I hear this voice, and I'm like, okay, let me pivot real quick because you can't ignore it. Then it really, that's how, like people really gonna try to test you. Like, can he
Yeah,
like do something on the fly? You gonna go to all these little different comedy clubs. They gonna try to check. They gonna try to check you. There's always somebody in the crowd trying to get their little 5 minutes of fame. I'm gonna give them five for sure. I'm gonna fire them up if I had to. I'm gonna
I
give them
be
all that
scared to
fire they
sit in the
can
front
handle.
though. I be scared to sit in the front because I don't want to get some comedians just start talking about you.
People love sitting in the front. Like people who sit in the front, we gotta check them because they some I don't
I'm,
know why, like they
I'm
love
sitting in
that
the
they
back.
please humiliate me. You know what I'm saying? But
Like,
people love it. A lot of people love
that's
sitting up in the
right.
front, and like I said, it makes them. I appreciate the people that sit up in front because it makes them part of the experience. Like they actually come there to be a part of the show. You know,
Yeah.
they not there just to watch the show. They like immerse themselves in it, so they know if they sit up front, it's a chance that they might get called out on. And I really don't, unless it's just something that just catches my
You
attention. That
got,
I'm like, come
yeah.
on, y'all, we gotta let's point out the elephant in the room real quick. You know what I'm saying? And keep going
Yeah.
from there. That's part of it. Yeah,
That's wild. But yeah, that's tough. But so the gist of the podcast is basically taking people that obviously was good in their sport in college, and then they're still doing exceptionally well after sports. So like you didn't go professional, but you're still doing exceptionally well in whatever field that you're doing. And I feel like we only hear from professional athletes, like either current
yeah,
professional athletes or athletes that have, are retired. And I'm like, but there's still
right.
people. Most of those people that graduated college with you, they're regular people doing exceptional stuff.
Word,
And I feel like that
word.
those stories are not like blasted or heard about, because I'm like, you gonna end up like me
Yeah,
more. You gonna end up like me or you, like a regular person doing whatever you do, whatever field you're doing. And so
word.
that's the history or the gist of more than 94.
No, no, I'm with it. And I've definitely caught some episodes. Like I said, I'm proud of, like I said, what you're doing. I honestly didn't even think that you would do a podcast. Like I said, for me, just
Me
knowing you.
either.
So I was actually happy to see. As I say, I was happy to see you do it. And like I said, and sticking with it. Like I said, I definitely want to call that for sure. But like I said, it's been good catching the episodes. Like I said, there's two people I want to address now that we on the topic. One, first of all, let's go ahead and address that. At the beginning of the stages of More Than 94, there were two co-hosts. We talk about
Sure was. It was.
Jasmine Nola. You know what I'm saying? I just want to go ahead and put this out there that I personally requested for her to be on this episode for everybody who looked at her, but she felt the need to not do that. I don't know if it's because she's a doctor's wife now that she thinks she's above us, but she's like, I'm not about to do this no more. I forget. I'm a doctor's wife. You know what I'm saying? No, my bad. She from Memphis. I'm a doctor's wife, man. I'm like,
Not made. Oh man.
no, you know what I'm saying? But it's just all hood. But even the other day, I watched the episode of what you did with Vic, and like I said, that was the first time I seen Vic in a while. You know what I'm saying? That boy
Yeah.
look like his name should be like Abraham now or something. My boy look like I said, look at Vic,
He
man.
ain't
My
got a
boy look
full
like he
head of
straight out
hair.
the
Listen.
a full head of hair, beard. That boy look like he got a staff right next to him. I'm like, that boy about to go spit some the Red Sea or something after this. Well, shoot, man. But like I said, man, I've definitely enjoying. Like I said, I definitely see it, and I'm glad, yo, that you and this is me on my own podcast. So I'm about to ask you a question. like,
Go ahead. Nobody ever asked me questions. I'm fine with it.
yeah,
You can ask me.
no, for sure. Did you like so like whenever you came up with the concept, or you and Jazz were sitting down, what I guess one a lot of people up with a lot of good ideas all the
Mhm.
time, and
Yep.
but what made you go ahead and say I'm gonna go ahead and put this foot forward and like bring it through?
Honestly, it's just like one of those things. Like I feel, and I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like like one of those things. Like I never knew what I would be enjoyed because I've always only done basketball. And so then I was like,
Word.
I was dabbling in stuff, and I've always like, and honestly, it's like a hobby. And I had to. One of my friends is like, "Why do you just say it's a hobby?" And just being like, if it don't work out, it was just a hobby. No, no harm, no foul.
Right, right, right,
And
right.
so that was really what it was. Like I just didn't know what I would be good at, because I've been like at the age of 30 something years old, I'm just trying to figure out like what do I like outside of basketball. And I
I
like
feel
at
like
30, like why like that. I feel like now I'm like behind, and so
no,
like that, and so like I'm just like, what else could I do? Like I know I wanted to. I've always had the idea of just like highlighting people that are not necessarily
hmm
like I said, professional athletes, or like
right.
that were good in their sport in college and just decided, okay, I know I'm not going to go to the WNBA. That wasn't even never in a dream, but I know I can go
Mm,
do something better or do something good outside of basketball. Like my identity was not, for a little bit, like my identity was wrapped around basketball. I was like, but I gotta have another identity outside of basketball, because I feel like a lot of
right.
like college athletes, they don't know what to do. And I didn't know it
No,
was
for
such a
sure.
bad, like I didn't know that it was I knew it was a gap when we graduated, but I was like 2024, they got all this stuff. Surely there's resources out there. It's people still struggling with transitioning from being an athlete to a regular
Oh
person.
yeah. It's like something that, like you said, it's nothing for me. Everybody always asks me, for instance, like why I stayed in Jonesboro so long. It's like I was so used to come from like that small town. Like Jonesboro was a big place when I, like to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm from a
Right.
super small town. So getting to Jonesboro when it was time for me to graduate, I hadn't even thought about even leaving Jonesboro.
Right.
So a lot of like my story and how I stayed was just because like I haven't even thought about the transition process at all. I was just like, you know, I haven't even like most people like, yeah, I'm gonna graduate, I'm gonna go here, go there. I'm like, oh dang, I didn't even thought about that. I'm looking at jobs in Jonesboro. I'm not even thinking about, you know, I'm gonna do this, you know, in regards to I'm gonna make some money in regards to
Right.
like, you know, what I was doing at the time, which was the training. But in regards to like what that looks like for us, like the resources, I didn't even think about like none of that. So I can imagine that people, let alone, you know, not even knowing, you know, just not even it even being a thought, you know, for
Right.
real.
So that's
So
that's
there's
kind of came about, and I'm just like, and same thing. I graduated from Arkansas State. I went and got a job. I was there for 7 years. I was in Jonesboro from 2007 until 2021 when we moved and I was ready to go. I was like, I'm waiting on Jabari.
mm,
Come on. And so we decided to move to College Station. But it's like I was working at one place for 7 years,
yeah.
and that ended on a good note. And but then you get somewhere
Mm,
else, and I'm just like, I've gotten to the point now that I work for someone here, but I don't work for them anymore.
yeah.
And I'm just like, and I take accountability. Like I don't think I should be working for somebody, and not saying that everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. It's just the fact that I just it ain't been working out, and I don't know if I just trying to
Yeah.
like want to have that false security of a job and just not trying to like I did well at both of those positions, and I'm like, it's time
Yeah.
for me to do it for myself, and and
Right.
and I'm that person. Like I'm like, dang, I waited till I had 2 kids, and now I'm 30 something years old trying to figure like that. For me, sometimes I get in my head and be like, why would I wait till now I got two responsibilities? Like why should I should have
Yeah.
did this when I
Yeah.
have no responsibility and it's not. And
Yeah.
so sometimes I'm like, but it's just at this point I'm just like I have to do it for myself and be
You got to.
exceptional for
Honestly,
myself.
and that's it. And a lot of times we feel like we already got like a certain ideal of how the story's gonna end. Like you're saying, oh, I'm here right now in my life at 36. I'm like, why wait now? Because and you saying that because you already thinking it's gonna be a fail in a sense because you're not able to put like that. You know how you were when you didn't have kids when it was just all about you and you know you could
Yes.
really put that dog work in. And now it's like a whole different territory. You know, so it's like if anything, I feel like it's one of the things that I as well, like I said, I got a kid. My whole life is different. And when it comes to how it was when we started sports, when it was about football, it was just all about me. I could focus in. Like,
Yep.
there's plenty of days now. If I'm tired, whenever I was playing football, then if I was tired, how to recover that tire stuff go out the window, like right, like none of that matter. You know what I'm saying?
None
It's
of
like
it.
it don't matter. Yeah, so it's like in order to like find something to focus in order to like grow as a professional, it's somewhat more a little bit more difficult, but it's definitely not impossible, and it's definitely for me not any such thing as like wrong timing with it. You can do this right now. Something go right, blow up, man. You'll be out of there and have everything across different networks the next year, and then your life will adjust and adapt to that. But at the end of the day, it's for me, it's like one of those things where we had those different sports to where we learned how to live with those. Like it was
Yeah.
part of our life. So the
Yeah.
the minute that whatever it is, if it's gonna be podcasting, it becomes part of your life just as much as the rest of your family. Because even then, we had family, we had other friends. We didn't bail on our friends on stuff. We still grew up with
Right.
friends and
Yeah.
and did things. So the minute it becomes as much of your life as everything else, that's how a sign of you like, okay, I'm being serious about it. I'm dead ass about it.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot, and I think I talked about it in another episode. I don't think I went in depth to it, but like when I in college, I my only father figure, obviously, he died while I was in college. And so when I got out of
Mm.
college, I didn't think about it until we were interviewing a lady and she was talking about resentment. And I'm like, I didn't do anything with basketball after I got out of college. Like and then
Oh,
when I
damn.
was talking to her, I'm like, I resented basketball because my biggest cheerleader was gone. Like, and I was like, I
Ah, I
did
got you.
not want to do anything dealing with basketball. I don't even think I watched basketball hardly. And so
Oh,
it
same.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't until like we got here. I mean, I had coached a little bit at City Youth or whatever, but I just really wasn't trying to do anything outside of like at one point in time I wanted to be a coach, and then like after that I'm just like it's out the window. But now that I'm here, like like I've coached one of the city leagues here, and like people keep asking me, and then when we got here, I'm like, bro, no, I don't do. It's like you coach 1-on-1. I'm like, no, I don't do that. Blah blah blah. And then I'm just like, I just really resented basketball. So now I've gotten back
Right.
into it, and I've done like little camp. I did the Texas A&M women's basketball camp, so I've kind of gotten back into it. But for a long time, I did. I resented basketball, and so
No, I'm with you. I'm the same way. I feel like it's something. It's crazy that you said that because like I was the same way. I didn't watch football for a long time. I'm really just now picking up watching like football again, and that ain't gonna hold you. A lot of it has to do with prize picking. Me trying to make these over here gambling with it.
yeah,
So it gave me a little bit more motivation. But
yeah,
for the longest, I didn't watch football at all, man. Like I said, I had a lot of like resentment and hurt towards it as well. I had a lot of injuries that like kept me from. I feel like getting to the best level that I could.
yeah,
So
yeah.
even like this one time in one story, like my senior year at Arkansas State. Like I said, I had been like playing, doing everything I need to do. I'm like, this is my senior year. I'm gonna hit this weight room. I'm gonna do recovery. I'm in there 6:30 to 9. I'm up in there run every morning,
Tom
man.
Carroll.
I'm up in there getting it right, man. Shout out to Run Carroll, man. I'm up in there getting right. I'm doing everything I need to do. You know what I mean? I'm starting this year. I'm gonna play ball, go out here, have a couple of good games, these first couple of good games. And then there's one day of practice, man. I was doing this drill. And mind you, at this point, I don't my hamstring was always my biggest hinder. I
No,
tore that thing like 4 or 5 times. Like it didn't matter what I did, what not. But this year I was determined, like I'm not gonna let that hurt, like not gonna slow me up. I'm gonna play all the games this season. One
yeah,
day at practice, man, I was sitting up there doing this little drill, and to be full honest about it, I was low key half assing it too. So man, I did like this one little drill, some little quick little move, and it popped, and I just like
mm,
laid on the ground, and then I just cried or whatever because it wasn't even I was in pain, but it just like it said I'm like, bro, it happened again, and I was just so defeated. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I remember Coach Gibbs looking at me like, hey, why you crying so hard? Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Wait, was there hyperventilating?
yeah, I'm like distraught down there. I'm like, man, I'm like again. I'm like, I did everything I was supposed to do. I didn't, and it just boom, just like that.
Yeah,
And that was one of those things for me, like you said, I think you said it a minute ago, just for us like thinking about going to the league. I knew my leg, like I knew my body it wasn't going, it was just, I knew that. I knew that after
yeah,
my junior year. I was like, my body is no way I'm gonna make it. If
yeah,
anything, I could try to get some stats, and I really didn't have the stats like that. But even still, I already knew my body was not gonna make it. Like I didn't it's the reality of the situation like that. And for me, it's been always one of those things where I look back my last game of the my last home game. I don't know about you, and did you ever have like a moment where you realize, oh damn, this is like it,
hmm.
like for like you know what I'm
Oh, yeah,
saying?
we was. I
I
was
had
riding
to.
back on the bus. I was like, "Oh, this it. This
This is
riding back to
it.
the
You know what I'm
bus."
saying? That's it. And man, like for me, I haven't even thought about football coming to the end or nothing. But man, for whatever reason, in my last home game, Arkansas State, we still had another game, away game that it was the next to the last game. Man, it hit me in the middle of the game. I'm like, oh, this ain't like this
Yeah,
is it for real.
it is.
And that whole game, I'm telling you, man, I've been always a focused player whenever I was on the field, but bro, that my mind was like everywhere but there that day. And sure enough, man, the only touchdown I got scored on in college, man, this dude threw this duck. I'm talking about like for 40, 50 yards or whatever. And it's just hanging in the air. But I was so like disconnected from that moment or whatever that like I'm like looking at it come and I'm just like it's like not comprehending, you know what I'm saying? Like the moment was like overwhelming and man, he caught that touchdown and Coach Gilbert to me after the game. I ain't played the rest of that game at all. Because I could tell I could tell that, and like I said, for a minute I was like upset with Coach Gilbert about that. But Coach G, he could see it. He knew
Yeah,
I went like yeah, he knew it. He knew I went there. He had that I was like in my head in the worst way, and that's one thing about me. When I get in my head, it's tough for me to get out. Like I'm a big
yeah,
overthinker, big everything. So man, it was like one of those moments that for me, I was like, damn, this is it. I know for a lot of people, when you think about other sports, basketball, if you want to go play like a real game of basketball, you can go down to a court somewhere, really get
right.
in five and go hard.
Yeah.
Soccer, baseball, you can round up, but you ain't never putting a helmet. Like
No,
since
you
that
ain't.
dad took that
No,
helmet off,
no
is
full suit.
it? You know,
Yeah, you ain't
Wait,
finna get
I
suited up.
got I got 22, 36-year old ready to go out here. They go ahead and go put on 11 on 11 real
Hey,
quick.
you
And,
might
and,
get
and,
some
and
flag.
that,
Hey, you might get some flag footballers out there, but that's funny.
I need the contact, man. That's what I'm saying. I need the full experience. And that's the thing. I knew in that moment I was never going to get that full experience again.
Yeah,
And it was one of those things that where I'm like, oh wow, moving forward in life, there's going to be certain moments that you'll never get
never
that
get.
full
Yeah,
experience like ever again. And that was one of those things that for me with football, it taught me a lot to where like not to take certain moments for granted, especially when I'm looking at whatever I want to transition to.
mm-hmm.
Like I said, my time at the gym, I'll never be able to recreate that ever again.
No.
Like that was to me one of the most best times of my life, yo.
And just that
It was
team
one of those things.
camaraderie too, though. Like people don't understand. Like being working in corporate America, like people don't get what it means to be a part of a team. Like
Oh,
it's
for
just
sure.
I was just having a conversation with your brother the other day. I was like, people I said what I struggle with, especially in corporate America, like people don't get what it means to be a part of a team. Like sometimes you gotta do the it ain't all about scoring all the points. Like sometimes you gotta go get all
Right.
the like and people don't understand it because they just it's a little bit, everybody a little bit of selfish, but just like that selfish mentality, like it's and I'm just like, and that's like people you miss out on stuff. I feel like being part of a team is really like you this different personalities just come out and just it's
Oh yeah.
mixed, and people that don't they've
And
never
also
played a team sport also don't understand like this is a part of it,
I
but
know for sure. They don't get it. And that's another thing. Also, like reels, just like keeping a hold of buck. Like the women that I've dated, the ones who've like played sports and didn't play sport, is always a total difference or whatnot.
mm-hmm.
It's always a difference in like how that teamwork goes. Certain things that like I said, you can't mimic it. You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
it's certain things that you do miss out as a team. It's certain things that you don't get as a teammate like that. So it's like for me, it's like one of those things that I've been able to see like in real life situations. And like I
yeah,
said, even with people that you work with, you can
mm-hmm.
tell which ones who played on the team or who didn't play on the team.
Yep.
And like you can always point out who the sports ones were, who wasn't. Even if they're not the best employee, it's just certain ways how they move as a unit that they like. If anything, if they know they BSing, at least they know they BSing. You know what I'm saying? They know they not and I can respect that. You know what I
Right,
mean? It's one thing that like, BS and them like, all right, bro, you know what time it is. Like I know
right,
what time, you know what time it is. So
yes.
come on, man. So for me, it's one of those things where yeah, it does make a difference in my opinion for sure.
It for sure makes me and the true team like and then I like you of course you got those teammates that's trash and that's selfish,
Oh yeah,
but overall it's a difference. It's a difference like you said of how people move and people get and how you understand certain things and just get you got to
for
get stuff
sure.
done. So this is what we got to get done. We got to get it done. Um, but that's
And
good.
I'm
What
with it.
so when you graduated college football, obviously you went into you're a comedian now, but before then you were
Yeah,
training. So what made you get
yeah.
into training?
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't even know if I even but
I
initially.
ain't never heard this answer.
Yeah, so I said, I don't even remember if anybody asked me, but what got me into training initially, I wanted to be a physical therapist.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw what physical scare therapy schoolwork was looking like. And I said, I'm straight on that, man. I really wanted to be a physical therapist. I used to be, like I said, I always struggled with injuries out throughout school. Whenever I
Yeah.
was in high school, I can't remember what exactly it was. I can't remember which injury it was, but I ended up going to rehab. And like I said, those people had like such a great, like a big impact on my life.
Yeah.
Just was like getting me back to rehab, like recover me and everything like that. I'm like, damn, I would love to like do this for somebody else as well. So that's why like initially I wanted to do that, but I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't got no like once I said, man, this is what you got to do to be a physical therapist.
Yeah.
I'm
Too
straight.
much.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
You could
it.
pay.
I
You
went
could
ahead
pay
and
me. You could pay me to go back to school for no amount of money.
you know what I'm saying? That's too much. I said, I'm straight on that. I'm just gonna become one, then I'll go ahead and marry one. So that's what I did.
I can't with you.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I got the free therapy for a while. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But no, like I said, it was all good. And like I said, that was it, man. I got really involved in regards to like fitness whenever I was coming up. I had a coach who taught me a lot. Coach Marks, he taught me about just what that means, like just for
Yeah.
us like actually putting the work in to get like in physical shape. And then it really helped my game and I saw the improvement because I was a little dude. I was mad small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was out there athletic, but I knew I had to put some work in, put some weight in. But like once I really like fell in love with it and with the mix with that physical therapy like mindset I had like going on already, and I was like, you know what, I can do training. And I
Yeah.
loved it, man. That was like the best decision I made, man. So much fun. And that's how I started. And then after college, I went to 10 Fitness. I went to 10 Fitness, and I like 10 Fitness. I ain't even gonna
Yeah.
hold you, whatever. But they were taking too much of my money. You feel
Yeah.
me? The
Yeah.
percentage when what it needed to be. You know what I
What is
mean?
the
And
percentage
at
when
that
you're a physical trainer like that? When you're a
oh
trainer in the gym?
oh man, sure. Typically, I know for me, I feel like that percentage was they had getting 70%. I was getting like 30%. It was
Oh,
like ridiculous. No, for real though.
that
And
is a
then at
lot.
some point, that's a lot, yo. You know what I'm saying? That we got to do, gym fees and blah blah blah. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
bro,
tough.
y'all tripping. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That's why I said that it's one thing to BS me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta BS me. Just say this is what it is. Nigga get 70, I get 30. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But like, yeah, man. But at one point, I start. that's one thing. And I'm gonna ask you too or whatever. At
Okay.
some point, it's always a point where I realize like I can't say the word, but well, like when I'm like, oh, I'm that dude. You know what I'm saying? You know
Ooh.
what I want to you know
I
what I
hope you
want to say.
ask me the question because now I already know where it might be going. Because I just had to
There's
tell
always
somebody.
a
I had to tell
point.
somebody the other day that I was that girl, and and you know me enough, Walter, that I don't even talk like that.
Exactly. I already know it. I already know it. And just because we want to talk about it, don't mean we're not aware of what's going on in this moment, just like everybody else.
Exactly.
Ain't got
Exactly.
nothing to do about being boastful or nothing like that. I
No.
see the storyline just like you see the storyline. I just love to be the main character. So at what point I knew I was it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking like, hey, let's renegotiate. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like we're gonna do something about the percentage because at the end of the day, I might not didn't know it then, but I know it for sure as I grew up with real estate, everything negotiable,
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, let's renegotiate. You know what I'm saying? And they weren't trying to go for it. I said, all right, cool or whatever. And man, I had like a couple dollars in my pocket. I said, I'm finna go find a little spot. I had went and got my hair cut one day, and the unit next door was empty.
Yeah.
And so I got that spot, and that was it, man. I had a couple clients go with me. I probably had like six of them that left with me from 10 Fitness. So that was it. They were the ones that they led the charge with me.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
So that's it, man. But no, I almost forgot what I was trying to say.
Oh.
Also, when it came to sports, that's what I would say. When did you like realize? Because for me in sport, I always ask people like in 10th grade. That's when I like realized
Yeah.
I was a little bit better than everybody else
Yeah.
for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when I was like, yo, I'm like, all right, I'm straight on. I'm good out here, real good out here. You know what I'm saying? What about you? When did you have that like moment
Um.
when
I don't.
you knew you was better than it? Like when you for certain, like you like it's even if I have an off day, and because I had too much carbs in the morning, like when it was
Yeah,
like
I
you
got
just
you.
knew
Yeah,
for sure.
honestly, when we like, let me think. It probably was like eighth grade, like eighth grade
Mm,
going to that when I could like, and when I knew like I could give like they were giving 100%, and I was giving 50, like, and
mm,
it was still like
easy work.
these, yeah, I was still like you going out here full blast, and I don't got to do that, and I was that kid
Yeah.
like I'm that person who's like, okay, so this is what we like. So you might be out here, like we might be out here, just getting the bucks. We just shooting, we shooting. But then you start going
Right.
hard and start talking trash. I was like, okay, I didn't know that's what we were doing. So if that's what we doing now, I can show you. So I've always been that
No.
person. Like I can show you if that's what we doing. Because at first I thought
Word.
we was out here just shooting around, but now you want to get
We just have a
serious.
friendly.
Right. So you want to get, so I'm that person like, so that's what we doing. So we can do that then. And so that's
Got
just how,
to.
and I think, and when I look at it, I was telling somebody the other day, like I've been that person where like I don't do a lot of talking because I feel like my
Mm-hmm.
actions gonna do my talking for me. And a little bit it is like it's a both and I think because there is a point in time where you have to speak up or speak up for
Right.
what
Oh
you
yeah,
want
for sure, for
and
sure.
defend yourself. Or like so like as far as basketball, I was under recruited until I wasn't. Until Arkansas State came, then all the other people was like, "Oh dang, I didn't realize that she was that good." And so
Right.
then
Word.
I was loyal, and I was like, I already committed, so I'm not finna retract what I said and go somewhere else because it's a bigger school or whatever, whatever. So
Yeah.
that, and then even in corporate America, I came from a
I
situation where
tried to.
I don't know. He said I tried to.
I tried to. I did, man. I had offer from Kansas State. I had offer from
Yeah.
Kansas State and Baylor last minute. Like I said, and I had like told my I didn't mean to cut you off, man. But
No, you
like
good.
it's just so funny how like our lives mirror each other a lot or whatnot. But we always had like that bond, man. Shout out
Yes,
to I hope you still into that gangster rap like we used to. That was
I do. I do.
my
I do.
boy. All right, for sure. No doubt, no doubt. Let people know the real you out here, because I know you.
Hey,
You
I
know what
tell
I'm
them all the
saying?
time. I said if it's something, I'm like I listen to the most ratchet music. There he is.
I love it. That's what it is.
So
That was my first time. Anytime I knew you came to the gym, you about to like, hey, you'd be like, I got this for you. I'm like, what you got? Check
but
this out. I'm
again,
like,
but again,
yeah.
people don't know again because I don't do it. And a lot of people I told you, but like a lot of people assume that I'm a certain way, and it's kind of gotten. That's when I gotten older. It's kind of gotten like it ain't getting under my skin, but it has gotten. It's like irritating me a little bit because people don't. They assume what they think I am because I'm married to Jabari, so they assume
Oh
like
yeah,
me,
word,
me and his personality are the same, and it's not. We don't
word.
necessarily like all the same things. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But people take that assumption about me and be thinking, oh, I didn't, or people like, oh, I didn't realize, like, Because you don't know, you didn't even ask me to, like, you don't know me, and you assuming something that because you just see me with Jabari, like that we no, we are, if anybody is two opposite people, it's me and him. And so that
No,
kind
for
of,
real
it's
though.
like, bro, like we are not this, like people don't understand, like a lot of people just don't know my background anyway. And so
Yeah, true that.
yeah, and so in the I was going back to like in corporate America, like I'm the same way. Like I'm over here getting stuff done. I'm like, dang, I didn't realize that you knew how to do all this, this, that, and the other. And then I go
Mm,
and you go again, like you said, let's go negotiate. Like I didn't took on all these
mm-hmm.
other responsibilities. It's time to, let's negotiate, because I am that
Right,
girl. Like you can see that I am.
right.
And it was a no
That's
go.
it.
It was like no. I said okay. I gotta roll out because I at this point I'm negotiating my value, and I can't do that.
And
And
that's it. I say at the end of the day, like I said, whenever you start feeling undervalued, wherever you at, and like I said, whether it's job, relationships,
mm-hmm.
wherever, you know what I'm saying. When you start feeling undervalued, you can't wash it off. You know what I'm saying. It's gonna be stuck on you until you feel that value. It's gonna be something you can't wash off. You can't brush it off or nothing like that.
Yep.
So I already know. So that's when you gotta and that's the hard thing too.
Yeah.
Like I said, we get in those situations where we are, put ourselves there. We didn't built our value up. Now we got to go bring it to the table. And when they get pushed back on you, then you're like, oh, now I gotta make a decision.
I
Like,
gotta
do I
make
need
a
to stay or do
decision.
I need to walk? You know what I'm saying?
I
And that's a
gotta
lot of
stand
time.
on business at this point. Now you're making me stand on business.
But you know what I'm saying? That's it. And that's the thing. And unfortunately, like you said, I know for me, it's one of those things I think about. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people are being undervalued. They're working undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
They're, being just treated undervalued across the board. That's
Yep.
just the reality of the situation. And the thing is, a lot of times we don't know. Getting back to resources, we don't know what's out there in order to like combat that. We feel
Right.
stuck.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of
For
people,
sure.
they know their value. A lot of
Uh
people
huh.
know their value for
Yep.
sure, for sure. It's hard to even get to that point to where you like how we said, like when I know, no, you know what I'm saying. It
Right.
ain't even like something I'm like gassing myself to be or whatever. And when you get to that point, it's kind of like getting to that part is hard enough, and then going out there and then trying to get your worth, man, you got everybody else trying to like tell you, no, no, no,
Right.
nope, nope, nope. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of those things that I feel like, this platform that you have right here is going to also give a lot of people to kind of like listen in and have that opportunity to hear what other people are doing in order to move in their professional standpoint and growth where they at in their career. Because like I said, a lot of people, even at our age, we still trying to figure out certain things where we want to be at. Like I said, for me, stand up comedy to the point that where I take it serious like I am
Yeah.
now, I definitely want to see that like 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'll be dead ass about it. It's something fun, something that I want to be a professional at, and that's
Yeah.
something that I don't think I've done. Even with the gym, I
Yeah.
would literally nothing with the. I don't feel like there's been nothing that I've been a professional at. I
Yeah.
feel like for me, I've been like the best amateur. Like I've been like, and when I'm hot sauce. You know
Yeah.
what
I
I
got
mean?
you. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But I ain't never been LeBron James. I ain't gonna hold nobody. You know what I'm saying? There's so much things that I look
Right.
at people. Since we know like Magic. Magic is like a professional. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Everything he does on and
Yep.
off the field. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? This boy gonna represent an organization T to T, and he gonna stand on what he believes on. This boy professional. Every decision he make, a boy professional. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? A lot of people don't get to that point to where they can be a professional. That's why I said a lot of there's plenty of street ballers out here that can be in the NBA. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Can
Correct.
be in the NBA and be superstar, but they didn't never learn organized basketball. You
There
know
you
what I'm
go.
saying? They never
Yep.
come on now. They never take the time to actually think about what they looks like on and off the field, taking those public speaking classes so they can be good in front of the camera. And when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to like the interviews, all the stuff that goes into that, what it looks like to be a professional. And that's something for me that on this journey that I am right now, I'm like, you
Right.
know what? I'm gonna see it through because I always get to the point to where I'm like, that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I always get to that point.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always get there. Whether it's the gym, whether it's even with real estate. Man, I got my real estate investment like nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Didn't do right by any means. Well, that's a whole different story for sure. But like for like anything I've ever done, I always get there. I always get to a point where like I'm the best amateur, and then I have to make that decision where oh, am I gonna keep going and actually transition to that professional, or let me go start something else? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the thing
Right.
with me, like just being real with
Right.
myself is like a lot of times I get to that point, I'm like, oh well, let me go start something else. Get real
Yeah.
good at that, go start something else. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
jack at all trades for sure. That's you know what I'm saying. that's one thing ain't nobody gonna ever say about me. I can do a little bit of a lot, you know what I'm
Everything.
saying?
Yep.
Like I'm a jack of all trades, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And I like it that way, you know what I'm saying? I'm being a guest devil advocate in this standpoint to where I want to be a professional, but at the same time, I enjoy being that jack of all trade. You know, jack
Yeah.
of all trade is a master of none, but better than a master of one. You feel me? So that's how I am. That's how I move. You know, but that thing with comedy, like where I'm at right now, is something that I want to be a professional. I want to like make that transition to where I'm carrying a brand that somebody will be able to proud to put my name on whatever it is on their billboards,
Right.
whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
So, but
But
how
I'm hot sauce.
yeah, hot sauce. Like how so, but how did you get to the point of where you're like, oh, I might try this comedy thing out? Because like you
Man,
said,
yeah.
the NeNe's podcast, I would have never thought you'd be up there doing stand up comedy.
No, I know for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. With like with the comedy was something that I always had like appreciation for whenever it came to specifically stand up. Whenever I seen Kings of Comedy, I don't even know how old I was, but whenever they came out, man, to me that was the only it was a I had seen like kind of little things of like stand up comedy before, but I didn't understand them. I was so young, you know what I'm saying? I didn't get the jokes, you know what I mean? But with Kings of Comedy, when Said Entertainment was on there, I understood all his jokes. And he man, oh my gosh, I was laughing. Like I'm like this kid, but I'm like laughing,
No,
laughing.
he
And
was
then he was
yeah.
doing this and he had this one scene where he was doing like this break dance, and I love the dance. You know, I love the dance,
Yeah.
so that captivated me. I'm like, man, he's telling jokes, he's moving all across the stage, like he's a true entertainer.
Entertainer.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that was one of the things that first like sparked my eye. But then fast forward, COVID, I had a lot of time to myself. Like that was a big period out to myself. Like I said, I was just going through the divorce. My life was totally different. A lot of isolation. So it was a lot of times where in the house I had to like come to the fact of like let me figure out like what makes me happy.
Yeah.
I started skating because that used to make me happy as a kid. I started painting again. That used to make me happy as a kid.
Yeah.
I started just doing a bunch of things that like brought me genuine joy that I had like
Yeah.
abandoned
Right.
since my childhood, and started feeling that kid again. And one of the things I started thinking about was like stand up comedy. I was like, man, I love making people laugh. Love being an entertainer. I've always loved being an entertainer, but I never been able to like actually get in there. And like I said, everybody know
Right.
if you be around me, I'm the one at the gatherings that I want to make sure everybody's laughing, having a good time and
Yeah.
everything you gotta do. We out here training. We gonna laugh. If I go out here and
Yeah.
show you a house as a realtor, I'm gonna make it like we gonna have a good time regardless of what we doing. And that was one of the things where I was like, you know what? Let me start writing a set. And so that's why I started in the COVID. I just started writing different sets. And then one day I just like started rolling with it. And then I had like looked at them. I said, man, I got all these jokes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Well, it's still COVID. Me and DJ King Vic, um, he's like, let's do a comedy show at your house. And I was like, all right, cool. Because I started doing a podcast at the house.
Yeah.
So he's like,
Yeah.
let's
I
do the
mean,
comedy show at the house. You know what I'm saying? So we did the comedy show, had some comics come in. And I ain't gonna lie. I tell them this. This is something I already told them to their face anyway. Because this was in my first set.
yeah.
They were good. You know what I'm saying? But in that moment, I was like, oh, I can do this. I got them. Like
Yeah.
it was, and they were good. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
No, right.
I
That's healthy
knew I
competition,
had
though.
it.
That's just healthy competition. Ain't nothing like
That's it. Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's what I said. I tell them, but I knew I had it, and I knew I
yeah,
had it. And then, like I said, even after I did my first set, they gave me like they were there. They gave me validation, like, bro, you got it. But I
yeah.
said, I told them, I knew it. I already knew that. I was like, what I'm saying? Appreciate the
I,
confirmation. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing now that I be make sure I'm thinking about like not waiting for other people to confirm stuff that God already
yeah.
done told me. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? I already knew what time it was. I knew where I was. I knew it. And then I spent like a lot of that time before I got on stage learning the business of like
Comedy.
comedy. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, why, I was started like really able to somebody doing football. Like I didn't really wasn't big on watching film and breaking it down. Like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't make that. I wasn't a professional. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I feel like that's in college. That's when stuff like that is where you start transitioning into a professional
Yeah.
or whatnot.
Yeah.
But now, like I said, I made sure a lot of things that I did are like that. I started looking at film and I was like, why was this joke so funny? And then I realized that certain things that were happening in the joke, like, oh, this is all just a storyline. So he gave us a headline. He gave us a quick punch here, kind of like fighting, I'm gonna give you a quick jab, but I'm really setting
Gotcha.
you up for this other big hit
Big
that I'm
joke.
coming around the
Yeah.
corner. So you know what I mean? So once I started like realizing, like understanding what that looks like from a comedic standpoint and like actually studying it, that's when I started like, oh yeah. Then I
Okay.
started like, I took a little break off and started tightening up. And then since then, I'm like, yo, I go anywhere. I'm I'm confident. I
Right.
have, knock on wood, I haven't not had like a bad experience as yet. Not to say it's not gonna come, and if it do come, it ain't gonna stop me from anything. Like I said, because like I said, I don't need no confirmation. I
Yeah.
had plenty of validation in Memphis,
I mean,
Jonesboro, New
everybody got a
Orleans.
bad day sometimes. So, hey.
I mean, sometimes, what I'm saying, it definitely helps. You know what I mean? A pat on the back ain't gonna get turned down. You feel me? I'm not gonna pat, but you know what I'm saying. But
Hey,
it's one of
for
those things
sure.
where sometimes you can't with the comedy, you can't allow it can't always be about the reaction. You can have a fire set
Yeah.
and be in the wrong crowd. You know what I'm saying? We grew
Okay.
up a different way. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that I say, that's one thing I get that's the only, probably, I'm gonna say the only thing, but definitely number one thing is I get subconscious about because I'm in, Wisconsin. Certain stuff if I say something that's like a TV reference that these are nothing but all white people. So they like certain
Yeah.
references that I might make off, especially when it's like I'm coming off the hip if I'm trying to get the crowd to like
Right.
get rolling. Because some stuff I have already structured, but then if I think of something in my head that comes up, maybe I was like the other day I was thinking about I was making this one joke, and then I started thinking about Martin when he was talking about GTD,
Yeah.
got the draws or whatever. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was like wanted to sit, but not everybody's gonna get that because that's like you got to have like in that Martin area. So it's like certain
Yeah.
times I'm on stage where I want to like pivot, it'll come to my mind, and I'm like, so they probably not gonna get that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But that's another thing. You gotta sometimes you just gotta roll with it, and I try to just see what happens at the end of the day, you don't want to think for them. I don't know what they seen. I don't just because I'm here, they might have seen way more Martin than me. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of
No,
things
true.
I had to learn. You know what I mean? But even
Yeah.
Jabari tell you like when it comes to like sales, you can't think for the customer. You know what I mean? You put it
Yeah.
out there, bring it back. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. One of those things where I got to the point, getting to the point for sure that like I'm not
Yeah.
afraid. I'm just gonna put it out there. Whatever come back, come back. And each time I done put whatever out there, been all good thus far. But I don't
And I
let
feel
that
like
sway
in
me.
comedy, you can always be, oh, y'all ain't like that. Like, you can always kind of like,
Just
still
address it.
make
Point
a
out the
joke.
elephant in the room.
Yeah. Still
That's
make a
it.
joke
You
out
know
of
what
like,
I'm
oh,
saying?
so y'all didn't like that joke. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. And that's it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I saw something go like that. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, gotcha. I'm just gonna stick to the white catalog I put together. We just let's let's not paint out the lines for HR get involved. You know what I
right,
mean? And that's it. And I roll back into my set. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing.
right,
Like stuff like that. I love it. Like I said, comedy is definitely something. Uh, if anything, is more of like a medicine for me. Is one of the things that I feel. I feel like a lot of people have been inspired by, and this is definitely not no boast or anything like that, but I definitely feel like a lot of people have been inspired by certain things that I've done in my life, whether it's family, friends, or like that. My cousins, they think you would think I'm Superman to a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? They watched me come up. They were little kids seeing me on TV playing football.
right.
And I
No,
don't
for
even
sure.
think about that. They're 20 now. You know what I'm saying? But I was like,
Hmm.
damn, when they were like 8, 9 years old, like I was it to
Yeah,
them. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And how big of that was in regards to just seeing they were able to see me go through like about getting a gym, and they was like,
yeah,
man, that
yeah,
to me a lot of my life impresses them and inspires them. So like getting back to the comedy thing, it's been one of those things to where I get a lot of people who come up to me and they like, man, I would love, like a lot of people want to do comedy. They want to get on stage. They want to do some type of open mic, public speaking, some type of deal. But
hmm,
it's, so it's hard to get up there. And, I tell them, like, man, I just started doing this comedy like 2 years ago. And they're like,
right,
word? I'm like, yeah, man. It's like, it's not something, when they look at me, they think, oh, he's probably been doing this for years or whatever,
yeah.
not based on like skill set or anything like that. But just like, once you start looking at somebody's age, you're like, oh, he must have been doing this for at least 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
These 10
oh, he
years,
must be an old
you
head. You
pushing,
know what I'm
hey,
saying?
you pushing 40. Like, you been doing this.
You know what I'm saying? I know you've been doing it for 2 years. I'm like, bro, I'm an old rookie. You feel me? I'm like, I just started, fool.
Listen,
I
I done red
just
shirted about
started. You know what I'm saying?
3 times. Listen.
No, for real though, man. So like, it's one of those things where it just, I am grateful that I like have this space in order to do that with that, and it's been fun, for sure.
But it's good to see that because you again, when you so into football or into your sport, you ain't got time to think about anything else or trying to go
At all.
even do anything else. So for us to figure like, oh dang, like I'm over here, Walter, I'm over here gardening. Like I'm over here gardening. I got 2 kids. We over here
That's what
homeschooling.
I'm talking about.
Not
That's
me.
all. For real?
For real.
Oh, for real? Oh, damn,
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I'm
What?
yes, exactly. And I'm up here
Yeah,
listening. And
nigga.
I just tell somebody my best like I think when you are, when you're at an age, or you are on social media and they like, oh, you don't sleep till you dead, and you be waking up at this, you need to make X amount of money. I'm like, listen. At the end, I was like, you can't listen to that because like what you think is great, I might not think is great. So my end goal, and I told somebody, like, no, like my end goal is to have X amount of acres and be self
Yeah,
sufficient, and
yeah.
that's it. Like that's it for me. And I not to be like,
I'm with that.
and you may think that's like, oh, I don't have to make a bill. I don't have to be over here making millions and millions of dollars to be happy. Like
Yeah,
I think we have fallen into the thing like what makes you happy. Like you're doing comedy. You may not become a Kevin Hart, but if you make
yeah.
enough that's good for you, then that's good for you. Like we ain't gotta compare
Word.
ourselves to another comedian or somebody over here that has this amount of real estate. Or because you feel like we own real estate and we got to like, well, we need to do multifamily. Da, 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 da. I'm like, bro, that's not really what I'm. As long as I'm leaving something behind for these two little boys, that's it. Like they don't have to start at ground zero. I'm not out
No
here
word.
chasing all and that's a hard like and I didn't just come with it overnight. Like it took time to be like, dang, like what am I doing? Like
No word. I
that's
feel that.
really not it. Like that's really not it. Like I'm good. I'm gonna be out here to build this last little house, like some acres. I'm gonna have some goats. Listen,
With it.
come out to the homestead if you want to come on out.
You know, if I pull up, sure. I'll be out
Listen,
there. You know what I'm saying?
and the next man, it
I
probably be
love it.
like next 3 years you will come out to the homestead in good old Bryan, Texas. Come on, listen, we gonna have some four
You
wheelers
know,
out there,
pull up
and
on
that's
me.
it. That's it. Like that's
I'm with
it. And
that.
I'm not even. But before you ask it, before then, I'm even like, bro, I'm trying to, I have. And for a long time, I had gotten to that thing like I need to be like a CEO of something to
Yeah, yeah,
know
yeah.
that I'm validated and this, that, and the
I feel
other.
that.
And
Yeah,
honestly, it didn't come until my aunt, was my mom's middle sister, died. And it was crazy because it came like full circle because I learned how to play basketball in Erie, Pennsylvania, which is where she lived, and I used to get shipped there every summer, and that's where I learned how to play
yeah.
basketball. And I was always there every summer. I never, and so then when she died, I'm looking at that obituary, and I don't never read nobody's obituary because I don't even go have people funerals unless I just know you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I read her obituary. That's probably the first, second one, my stepdad, but the second obituary I've ever just read.
Obituaries do be long.
And you know how black people
I
is.
mean,
They be upset when somebody name ain't in it. Like I ain't
I'm
got
like, who
time.
is this? Who?
It's
What is the relevance? What is the relevance of her yoga instructor for
like,
this obituary? I'm like,
what?
why is she in here?
Why is she in it? She
She
knows.
got like
I'm like, bro,
30.
y'all get something else to talk about.
And the granddaughter's sister's aerobics trainer, Tiffany. I mean, like,
Like,
what?
why? Why is that person even in there? But I was reading it, and it never mentioned how much money she got, what car
Uh,
she drove, what
uh,
position of title. It says she is. I don't even know. Like preceded by her husband had died, and then her kids, then her grandkids. And I was like, and
yeah.
I'm up here worried about what this stuff or what? No, if
No
I die
word.
tomorrow, ain't nobody gonna care how much money I had in my bank
Nothing
account.
at
None of
all.
that is
At
gonna
all.
matter. And I'm
At
like,
all.
but we over here trying to like, I'm like, bro, nah, but this is it. That ain't it. That ain't it.
Oh, don't trust me. I already know. Like I said, last year when I had my stroke, man, like I said, it changed my life in regards to
Yeah,
like
I
how I
was gonna
look
ask
at
you
a
about
lot of
that.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Boy, I was up in there. Like this, how I started. I don't know. I guess we can jump. We'll talk about that. We can jump how I started and then just kind of like where it came from. But like for me, man, it was one of those things when I had that stroke, man. It definitely changed my perception in regards to a lot of stuff ain't no big deal to me now. Like I'm super easy about a lot of stuff. I'm very like when it comes to just having those moments of like clarity, like try not to trip over this, try not to stress.
Mm.
I know even when I feel like myself anxious too much, I'm like, bro, ain't even nothing to be anxious
All
about.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, when I was in the hospital, man, I didn't know what was gonna happen. I got to the hospital, like I said, it was just a regular. And that's the thing, like you can die at any moment. Like,
You have no
like,
control over it.
like no control, man. I'm up in there having a regular day. I was like, had just moved, third day of work. You know what I'm saying? I had a meeting. I said, let me go downstairs and give me a little mile in real quick on the treadmill.
Yeah.
go downstairs, get on the treadmill. You know what I'm saying? I'm running smooth, and like I said, you know me, I'm like in good shape. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like easy work. Yeah, and I wasn't even pushing it at all. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is like a little mile I'm finna do or something like that or whatever, and get off the treadmill, man. My head, man, it felt like somebody hit me in the head with a bat, yo. I'm talking about
Mm.
that thing was just like ringing. Fast forward, I'm just getting weak. Like I'm starting to like just sweat. I'm like, oh, let me get to the urgent care. By the time I get to urgent care, man, I can barely like move. All that
Mm.
hospital, get there, they pull out the little joint after they ran the scan. The doctor, I don't know, I don't know if he only looked at it for the first time when he got in there, but he was not prepared to deliver the news.
But how did
He
he
was
say
like,
it?
he's like, all right, let me see. He put it out the thing, put it on the thing. He's like, yeah. So, yep, looks like you're bleeding in your brain right now.
Oh Lord, like
And
what?
and then it like it hit him. And he's like, and then he started actually looking. It was like I guess the first time he looked at it, it was kind of like you know how you get like a classroom setting. Oh, I know what that is. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It
Yeah.
was like, oh, you know what I'm saying. And then he realized how
Yeah. Like
he's
bro.
like, oh, and I asked him, I was like, you being for real or not? Like he's like, oh no, I'm being serious or whatever.
Oh me.
Because the whole room got like awkward. You know what I'm saying? All the nurses,
Yeah.
people up and down like that. And he said, yeah, man. He said, you bleeding from your brain. And he's like, you
Mm.
see this all right here? And he showed me this spot. He said, man, you bleeding from your brain. He said, I ain't gonna hold you. He's like, most people that the way you bleed right now, most of them die before they even get to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? He's like
Wow.
1 in 3. He's like, so we got to get you to the OR. When they got me to the OR, I was woke for that. They went through my groin up to my brain. They asked me what music I wanted to listen to. I listened to Drake. So shout out to Drake for holding me down doing my
Not
stroke in the
Drake.
OR or whatever.
I
I
thought you were
swear.
gonna say
I was
something
like, man,
a little bit more hood than Drake.
nah, man. I was gonna let the certified lover boy take me on out of here. I was like, stand at your dress, he take me, Lord. I was like, take me. I was up in there bumping that Drake though. I ain't gonna hold you, cause I'm like I'm conscious as they like right up
Oh
and there. They got
yeah.
this, like near everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Oh
right there, I'm feeling everything. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it was one of those things, man. I had to make them calls to. I called my mom, told her, like, listen, I said, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. Whatever happens, just with the
mm,
reality of the situation. I said, man, you got to keep on pushing. And it was
yeah.
one of those things like when her mom died, or it was, we had something big in our family happen. Like one of my cousins, he ended up murdering my auntie and his little brother. And it was my mom, that was my mom's sister. So
Yeah.
their mom, man, like after that happened, it's like she just aged like it went quick, like
Yeah.
it's because you just couldn't handle it no more, man. There was a lot of stress on that. After that, man, she like aged so quick, yo. My grandma like went from up and glowing, and then she just, and
Yeah.
then one day
That's
she had a
tough.
heart attack, something like that. And that was I told my mom, I was like, listen, I don't care what happened. I was like, don't you like just keep living. I like
Yeah.
don't let this like just fall. Like accept it, and that's what it is. I call King, call Vanessa, tell them what it was, and then I told my
Yeah.
boys, Lee and B, you know. Make sure y'all, take like look out to him and everything like that. So whenever you have like a real conversation like that, it really like you don't come back from that. Like I'm like, man, okay, this is for real. So I'll be tripping over a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, getting that homestead acre, you get to be with your kids every day, homeschooling. You know what I mean? I know it's probably definitely some challenges that I have no clue about. But at the end of the day, man, they see you every day. They get to, have that experience with you, and you get to grow from that as well. So,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I
take
was
me
like,
up
and
over
I
it.
was low key like, cause you go from, go to. I was low key ashamed to be like, oh, I'm at home, cause
Yeah, yeah,
like I
yeah,
had
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like stigma, like what they doing at home, like this stuff is not. They just out there chilling at the house. Listen, it is so much
No,
easier to drop
for
your kids off at daycare every day than it
don't I
is to
already
stay
know
at
it.
home. And so I was literally like, people were like, what do you do? Like now, like at first I was like, I stay. I mean, I'm at the house. And I do stuff, and I've never been the person, but I do this, that, and the other anyway. But I still
Yeah,
do stuff. But I just ain't finna get all into details. Like, bro, yeah, I'm at the house. That's all you need to know. But I was like
not for a lot.
low key ashamed at first to be like, I'm at home. The kids, I'm homeschooling the kids. It's like I felt so.
Not
I
for a
just like
lot.
I don't even know. I'm just like because I was so caught into the identity of like I need to be at work doing something, making a
No word.
difference and stuff like that.
And that's what goes into like you said when it comes to just the CEO, like you said, having feel like you need that like that title like the CEO, like yeah, I mean I already know that goes all into it. And then like I said, nobody that's something, especially as athletes, at the end of the day, at some point we all had a certain life that we like expected it to look like and whatever may.
Right.
I know I definitely didn't. None of my life looked like nothing I thought of. Heck,
What's gonna be?
a year ago. You know what I'm saying? Like every year I'm surprised. Like, oh, okay, that's what I'm doing
Yeah.
this year. You know what I'm saying? It's like a new season, like, oh, this is what we doing this season. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of script God got to me. That's how I be in the weird. Like a lot of times you always see them actors like I didn't even know I was gonna get killed off on this until I got to the reading table. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I live my life, man. There's so much stuff like I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how God got it scripted. I know I'm just gonna play my part and do the best I can in my role and just do what I want to do. I know the character I'm want to be is to be the comedian, and if I end up being something else, then that's just what it is. But
Yeah.
like you said, can't get stuck in that identity. Can't be stuck in being ashamed,
Yeah.
um, and all that. And I even like you said, just keeping a buck with you on some relatable stuff. Even the same thing with like a comedian. Once you start telling people like this is what I am, then like you said, the questions come. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Then you like how you said, what you doing homeschooling? What you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
listen. You know what I mean? Somebody came here, so make me laugh. I'm like, right, you just I got these jokes in my
Make
pocket
me
like
laugh.
that. You know what I'm saying? I'll come to your job, ask you do random stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ask some taxi
man,
account. Hey,
sure.
do my taxes real quick.
Type me up an email. You know what I'm saying? Take
Like,
yeah. Make a
yeah.
presentation for me real quick. Let me see how you
But
know what I'm saying?
how do you think if you think do you think sports kind of prepared you for how you what life looks like now and how you like how you deal with life and how you go about your different professions and different seasons of life?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think something I always keep in mind is I don't know if it's something I don't know if it's just something I made up in my mind just to make the story good or if it's something that actually happened. But
Make
in
the
my
story
mind,
good. They made up the story good. Listen, we all make up
but
stories, dude. Listen, we
you
believe.
know what I'm saying? Hey, I look back sometimes I say, you know what, that didn't even really happen. I just added that part and made it I made it better, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it really didn't happen like that, you know. But I feel like this like one of the first meetings, I feel like one of the first team meetings that we had at Arkansas State, Coach Roberts, he had, got us all together for a team meeting and he was telling us about kind of what he expected of us, what that looks like, just being a representation of like the team. And he
Mm-hmm.
was saying like, right now, he said, right now you go out there and do something, you go out there and commit a crime. It's not gonna say Walter Moody committed a crime. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna say Arkansas
Go
State
stay
cornerback
back.
Walter Moody
Moody.
did
Yep.
it. So it was one of those things that where I always make sure that I knew that I'm representing a lot of people. I represent an organization. Even though in your jersey, it's your last name on your back. It's your family name. So
Yeah.
nothing about Walter is getting like on display. It's all about that organization and your family. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So that's one thing that I do. I wake up in the morning. I know a lot of times I'm not waking up just for myself. I'm waking up for, that organization. I'm waking up for my family. I'm waking up for, like I said, everybody that stand on that Moody name. So that's one
Yep.
of the things for sure that I always took from sports that I never forget that I'm part of a team. Regardless of
Right.
like whatever it is, you're part of a team, whether it's how you moving, even in in your life with God, you know what I'm saying? Just like being a part of the kingdom of God. I know I'm part of that. So it's like I'm moving with that team. How everything I move, they're gonna say this and that. Cause even if some go left, even like I said, one of the biggest things when you gotta like really get into it, but like if you represent yourself in a certain way and people know you as Shania the Christian, when that stop when that brings something up, Shania, she a Christian, she did this, they got her still in this, you know what I'm saying? Then it goes into all that. So it's like certain stuff, I
Yeah.
always make sure good and bad side. I know when I got something attached to me,
Yeah.
it's not just gonna be me. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
one
You
of the
know,
things for
it's
sure. But
not
yeah,
you ain't do all this stuff by yourself. And so that's good.
exactly.
And it's always
Yeah,
somebody
man.
looking.
Then,
And it's always somebody looking that even though you may not think. And I had to realize that I think in college when it's probably some kind of booster club meeting or something. I'm sure it's what
hmm
we had to do. But like as a Coach Boyer was like you are like people are looking at you. So even though
yeah,
you may not think nobody's looking at you, they are. So you carry yourself as if somebody is always looking. And now 2020, like it's now your family looking at, like you said, you have cousins that looked up to you, and you didn't think nothing of it because you was a kid yourself. So you just was like, I'm out here, whatever,
exactly.
whatever. So it is true. Like you representing more than yourself, and you are somebody's always looking, even though they might not ever say they looking, but there's somebody out there looking for sure.
No word for sure. Heck yeah.
So
Look,
how do
man.
you think, just like, to, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but what
Uh,
is like some advice, say, that you wish you'd have gotten, or as a kid that's it's another Walter Moody finna graduate college? What advice would you give either a young Walter or just a kid that just don't know what to do coming out of college and transition
man,
to be an adult?
I tell them do everything.
Yeah.
That's it's worked out for me. Like I said, at some point something's gonna stick. You know what I mean. Like I said, you can do everything and still, have a like good life for yourself. I think that's a lot of times that we get, especially like in corporate America, is kind of frowned upon for it's like going from job to job. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They look at your resume, you going this and that or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of people get stuck just because they don't want to have those holes in their resume or they don't want to do. They want to make sure they
Not job
keep deciding.
hopping.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, well, forget that. That's some stuff that at the end of the day, I don't buy into that. I'll tell
Right.
anybody that I don't buy into that at all. Do whatever you want to do. And at the end of the day, you're gonna get replaced. They're gonna fill that position. And life gonna go on for them.
Yep.
Let me move on around from there.
They gonna do what's
Like I
best
said,
for
if
them, so
you
you gotta do best for
they're
you.
gonna do what's best for them, and
Yep.
that's it. You know what I'm saying? I tell anybody if they looking at their resume and they looking at that, you know what I'm saying? That okay then, I went for you. You know what I'm saying? That's what stopped you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't even get that. That's like you trying to get a girlfriend and she like, nah, you done had other girlfriends in the past. I ain't finna go with you. I'm like, well, go get you
Let me
somebody. I'm
go.
like, I showed up. I'm sure I am showing up single, trying to, but you want somebody, you want me to show up with a like girlfriend? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But they be like that. But as I said, a lot of people get stuck. So I would tell anybody, like, listen, don't, try everything. And then, like I said, you'll figure out what you like and like
Yeah.
what you want to do. You'll stick with it. It's not gonna be something that it don't take you long. It don't take you long.
Yeah.
You'll I like it, don't like it, and then but if it gets to the point, and me saying this, and let me say this in the same breath as well, you gotta also be real with yourself. You gotta also know when like I'm just not committing to nothing. I'm just like stuff get tough. I change, it get challenged. I change. If that's what you're doing, that ain't gonna work either. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you gotta also have a level of self awareness to where if you
Yeah.
are trying everything, that you know that you're putting your best foot forward and you're putting the effort in to actually see it through. And then it's just like, all right, this is what it was. But a lot of things, you if you once you get in there, you commit to it. It should find its way through. That was one thing that I told my my homeboy, that was like his wedding. I was his best man, and I gave him a speech, and I was telling him like, listen, right now it's just like sports. He played, like I said, he plays sports as well, and I say, listen, right now, it's kind of like signing day. Y'all just got the ink dry on the paper. Y'all married, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's changing y'all name. Y'all just, they got these new names on y'all back now. You know what I'm saying? Just like signing day, you're gonna go through a whole new phase. And I was like, listen, man, just like football, there's gonna be plenty of days that you're not gonna want to show up for practice. You're not
Yeah.
gonna want to like nothing, you know what I'm saying? But like you just gotta keep rolling. You gotta keep showing up for
Yeah.
practice.
You're not
Keep
going there.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's what it is. Like we didn't. A lot of people get stuck on love. You know what I'm saying? They
It's
oh
way
I
more
didn't
than
love
that.
my job. You know what I'm saying? They holding on to that feeling of
Yep.
what that looks like at a job. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I just didn't love my job anymore like that. And it's gonna be plenty of days you ain't gonna love
You
that
ain't gonna
job.
love, like, it's
So
plenty of days. I love
yeah,
basketball, but it's plenty of days I did not want to go to practice. But that don't
yeah,
mean
like
I
that.
want to
Yeah,
just be like, I quit because I didn't want to show up on one day.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? You gotta already make that. Once you make that, I'm gonna commit.
Yeah.
You just gotta roll with it. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing with me, that's one thing I like realized by myself. Like for us, like in a real life commitment in my life, football was one of the things I truly committed to. It didn't matter how much it hurt. It don't matter how many
Yeah.
times it disappointed me. And I saw, you know what I'm saying? I saw all the way through. You know what I'm saying? And that
Yeah.
was one of those things to where I, think about like things lesson learned. But that was one of those things for sure. So, like I said, keep it real with yourself. Try everything you want. But keep it real with yourself. You just
Yeah.
like not none what's the non commitment, none, I'm saying permanent, then like call it what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I said, you ain't gotta BS, you know what I'm saying? That's it. And I said, but you got there's a thin line obviously there, but only
Yeah.
most people only know that for yourself, you know
No,
what
yeah,
I'm saying? So
you
I
gotta
tell
be
them,
honest, and you gotta be real with yourself. Like, this
yeah,
is
you gotta be real with yourself. If you can't be real with yourself, you can't be real with nobody else. So that's one of the things. Like, man, if you really just jump, you remember, bro, you just jumping from job to job. It ain't got nothing to do with
the job.
on
Like,
so, you know what I mean? You're like, you just think you don't like to work. It
that's
ain't got
it.
nothing to do with you,
That's
man. It
it.
ain't got nothing to do
And
with you. You
and now
don't.
that I've got, like, I didn't know on a little bit on that, I'm just talking about, like, it's a kind of the same subject, but it's not the same subject. But I feel like as I've gotten older, I was like, because I played sports my whole life, so I've always, you had like automatic friends almost. And now that
Right,
she's
right,
an
right,
adult,
facts.
it's just like I'm like, it's ghetto. Like, why is it so hard to be friends with people? I was like, it's
Oh
so
man,
ghetto. I'm like, I don't
I
like.
was just talking about this the other night.
I'm just like, why is it
It's
so
tough,
hard
though.
for people just to be friends with each other? And I'm just like, and I
A lot
just
of
be,
relationships now
I just give up.
transactional.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Like honestly, it really comes down to that. It's like at some point everybody switched to like transitional friendship. Yo, we ain't talking about money, we ain't talking about nothing. You ain't calling my phone talking about money. We don't need you calling. I'm too busy. Like,
yeah,
my money, like that time and money, like we got into that mindset and then like there's a lot of true friendships that haven't developed since then. 'Cause, like I said, it's super hard. Like people don't like I be like, well yeah. I'm like, I'm just like regular stuff, you know what I'm saying? But like make it so difficult to like be friends, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, back in the day we weren't looking to make friends to gain anything from out of it. Like I
right.
said, with sports, we had some automatic friends in high school. You had the class. Just talking about the other day, it's like I had friends who were just in that class. Like we didn't have
Yes,
friendships outside that class, but in that classroom, you
yes,
couldn't tell us we were not the
not
best of
friends.
friends. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you can tell me. You know what I'm saying? But it's even like at work. Like a lot of times, people at work end up becoming like your friend. Y'all might not outside of work, but at work, let's have your date. But we be the best of friend, my little work friends. I remember
Yeah,
at Enterprise, bro. Ethan, all that, but man,
yeah.
well, we be up in there, shit, like they were my friend, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, it was built in friends. We had to work together, so we just you be good people.
You
That's
already
just
at
how it works out.
that place to, so it's like is you're there already, so you might as well be friends.
Right.
But now as an
But that was
adult,
another
like it's
thing.
like you can't even. I'm like because it was like I was talking to them like folks just don't. I'm like I'm not asking you to do a whole lot, but it's just like I get you got a husband and kids at home, but you need a break from that. Go hang out with somebody, like, and
Well,
nobody
that's
wants
what
to
I be
hang
saying.
out. Like,
They don't be want to do it, man.
I don't have to go hang out with Jabari all the time. I see him every day. I need some other people to hang out with. I
Exactly,
don't
for
need
real
these
though.
two little kids tugging on me all the time. Like, they get all of my
That's what I'm
attention. I
saying.
need adult interaction and just like what I've come, and I don't know if it's a girl thing. I feel like it's a girl thing more than it's a guy. I feel like guys can always get together and just hang out. I think it's
Nah, it ain't.
easier.
Nah, 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 nah. I feel like it's both sides. Like it ain't. It's definitely not by. It don't discriminate. I feel like it's the
Yeah.
same way. Two things I learned. One thing that I like learned whenever I moved to Wisconsin, because like that was like really the first time I like broke away from. Like I said, the only thing I've ever known was Mississippi, and Arkansas. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I like already had built-in friends my
Yeah.
whole time. So then when this is the first time I'm getting somewhere don't know,
No.
and then like I said, I'm trying to go out and do stuff. A lot of people, they live there, they from there, so like
Yeah.
they didn't been to everywhere. Oh, but man, you don't want to go there, man. That's played out now. I'm like, bro, it's new to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just go out and just go. Let's go eat some chicken tenders. Okay, you might not like. I don't
That's
even get it, but
facts.
like, you know what I'm saying? But that's how it be. A lot of them already be like clicked up, and that's another thing I
Yeah.
realized. Like a lot of them, they already got their own cliques. They like
Yeah.
this is when we do. This is when we watch football, and this who house we watch football. This who we
And I'm just like,
go. This he
I've
does the
never been
barbecue.
that person. I'm just like, I've never
You
been
know what I'm
like,
saying?
you should be able to hang out
Yeah, that's
whoever you
it.
want to. Now you have your groups of friends. Like, I know some groups of friends, like you just don't intermingle with those groups of friends because you're like, they probably want mesh. But like the
Where
cliquish stuff, and that's what the one thing that's what I didn't like Jonesboro, because people were so cliquish. It was like, oh,
oh yeah,
don't go. Like, I'm just like, I can go hang out with anybody. Like, why does it matter? I don't care. Like,
that's
why
the
do you like,
same
oh,
way.
like, because I remember, I'm let it know when you was training me, all the things happened. We can get on to that. They's like, oh, you, so
Yeah,
you're,
word.
so
Oh
you're,
word. Oh,
hey, they's like,
I
so
already know it.
you're still training with Walter. I'm like, Walter didn't do nothing to me. Like, I get,
No,
like,
for real
he
though.
didn't do nothing to me. Like, yes, that person is my friend, but like at the same,
Yeah,
I'm both of their friends. Like, he didn't do nothing
word.
personally to me. So like, why y'all like? And I just understand it. Then I was just like, yes, he's still
Oh,
working.
trust
Yes,
me.
he's still working me out. Like, me and Walter are great. Like, there's none like
Word,
whatever.
word.
But it's just as an adult, I'm just like, bro, like I don't. And I said I don't have friends. I do have some friends, but like it's crazy. Like the friends that I do have are like not even in close proximity. Like they're all
Yeah,
far
yeah.
away.
And
And
that's another thing too. Like both two things. Like I said, like whenever the proximity thing or whatnot, that's one thing I learned. Like if yo where you at ain't like somewhere popping, people don't come see you. You know what I'm saying? People come visit your location. They don't come visit you. They like, oh, so and so live in Houston. Oh, let me go holler at Chanel because I got somewhere free to stay at now. You know what I'm saying? But like if
right,
you stay somewhere like in Jonesboro or up in Wisconsin, ain't nobody trying to come see. Like ain't nobody trying to use their PTO on me. You know what I'm saying? Like they would most people visit your city, they don't visit you, and that's another
And
thing.
I've
Like I said, when
never
people
been that way, and
realize
I just don't understand it. Like, cause I've gone and seen people, and like I'm coming to visit you,
whatever,
right? So if you live
yeah,
in Podunk, Arkansas, I'm coming to visit you
I'm
in
gonna pull
Podunk,
up
Arkansas.
exactly.
Like that's where
That's
I'm
the
coming
same
to
way I am.
visit, and
Yeah,
so
that's the
it's
same way I
just,
am.
it's
But I learned
unfortunate.
that, like I said, I learned that, like I said, make a friend. Like I said, everything that went down, like I said, I already knew. Like I said, there was a lot of people like this. They like most people distance themselves from me. You know what I'm saying? Like you are like a rarity when it comes to like whenever they went down. You know what I'm saying? But most people, like I said, they distance themselves from me. They didn't want to be associated with me. So that's the thing. I had to go out there and like find new people because I was like, don't touch Moody. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch Walt. Like, you know what I'm saying? People didn't even want to be like even like my guy friends is one of those things that they didn't want to be like guilty by association type of deal. You know what I'm saying? They
So
ain't want
like
the,
you
they
didn't
ain't want the,
want, yeah.
that. Oh, so if you hang with Moody, we ain't no telling what you doing too. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean, like that's how they look. They like, bro, I can't fool with you, bro. Too much heat up in the house. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so I lost friends in that way, lost people, and like I
oh
said,
man,
when
I
it
didn't
comes to
know
like
that.
the
I didn't know
business,
that. I didn't know that.
oh man, everything, man, totally different scenarios or whatever. So like, it was a lot of things. Like I said, so and then COVID hit, so I was like nobody, like yeah, it was super lonely. Like I said, that's what really, I had to find ways to like really for the first time be okay without having friends in a certain
Yeah,
sense. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And then that's why I said I focused to the things I was doing, the art. I
yeah.
wrote the book. Moody was here, still on Amazon. Y'all better get out there and get
There
there.
you
A little
go.
quick little pub, real quick. It's still available. And man, I just came in going from there. I wrote the book. Then I said switched over to the comedy, and like I said, it's been all good. So it's been all full circle with that. Yo.
That's
My
good.
phone percentage on like 8%. I don't want it to be like an abrupt like ending.
No,
So
you ain't.
this might be
We
the.
about this the last. Hey, this the last question I got you because I know I said an hour.
All right,
We rolling an hour and a half.
go. Oh, you good? You know I don't care talking though.
So to wrap it up, what do you want when people listen to this episode? What do you want it?
Yeah.
What do you want them to hear? What do you want to come across from this episode? Like, how you want somebody? What do you want them to know that you were saying? Like, so nobody's
Oh man.
misunderstood. Like, what do you want to come across through this
Oh
whole?
man, so what I want to say, one, they need to make sure they need to know that I'm still him. At the end of the day, I don't care what it is. Still a go, still Walter D. It's gonna be that forever and a day, no matter what trials and tribulations I've been through. So let's just go ahead and put that out there and make
I
that
got you.
clear. And for us, I want them to know, like I want them to be on the same type of energy like I am. For whoever listening, if you're gonna do something, go out there and do it big. Whoever, if it's a comedian that's gonna see this, come see me because I'm gonna put you down anyway. But actually come out there, grab the mic, and do what you want to do and go hard with it. So for me, it's one of those things where you're making that transition, you're gonna do it, go ahead and do it. Most people, like I said, we just good amateur. It is what it is. I ain't made no money off of no comedian. And last time I checked, you ain't no professional till you make some money off of it. So I ain't trying to say like money ain't all what it is, but like for me, I ain't one of the type of people like give myself these fake accolades. So whenever I become a professional, trust me, y'all gonna know when I became a professional. And like that, he did that. He did that. And that's what it's gonna be. So I tell anybody, like I said, making that transition professional, it ain't about the money. That don't make mark you a professional, but
Yeah.
like it's a certain bravado. There's a certain thing that come with it, and some people ain't got it. Everybody has that full capability to do it. Either they born with it or they can, grow into it. But at the end of the day, man, they got people out here like me who you gotta actually come up to the table. And like I said, come to that court and show me. I ain't know we were trash
Hey,
talking.
so
So
this
that
what we
and
did.
so and that's what we doing.
That's what
Oh,
we
that's what we
doing.
doing. All right, then that's it, man.
Hey,
So
that's
be
so
ready. I
funny.
tell anybody. That's it.
That's good. Good. I think it was good. Well, thank. Hey,
What's
is
up?
there? I hadn't seen you. Me personally, I hadn't seen you on social media in a while. Is there
No, yeah, yeah,
any that you can just how people can reach you or whatever on
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
platforms?
No, yeah, I've been taking a little break from my social media. Like I said, like I said, Moody was here, and that's
Okay.
Moody MODYWUZ here HERE, man. Like I said, I still up on YouTube. Go out there and check that out. I got a couple bits on there. I got the podcast on there as well. Like I said, it's really in the season of like redeveloping a couple of these projects and a couple of things we're working on that's going to be new. So just stay tuned, man. Like I said, I'm gonna resurface here again, but I want to make sure, like I said, in the season of being professional, that I do some things that are going to be I want it to look that way. One of the things I always tell people, and I don't need to get into the story. Like it be dudes who be like who'd have been rapping since we've been 8 years old. Then I see their music videos. I'm like, these things are trash. I'm like, you had all this time to put out some professional quality work. You still with the iPhone, audio trash, you know what I'm saying? So for me, even like I said, I'm like, all right, man, it's time for me to make this transition. Like I need to better, like I got like a good grip of like the skill set. So now I'm looking like, all right, from an operational standpoint, how do I move from this and that? But
Yeah,
like, yeah, keep up with me. Moody
that's
was
good.
here, easy to find. I'm easy to lose too as well, but I'm here.
That's good. Well,
Yeah,
thank you for
more
being on
than
more than 94.
94. Hey, yo, for sure, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. It's
Nerd.
been
Hey.
If I'ma start it, you know I'ma finish it. I'ma show all of you folk with the businesses. Walk